Good afternoon. This is Nick with Williams Sewer Line Inspectors performing a video inspection of the sewer line at 1363 Bobolink Place in Hollywood Hills. Right now we're looking into the city sewer. This is the end of the sewer line in terms of what this property owns. As we pull back, we see this is the last connection to the line. The joint seems to be pretty tight. There aren't any roots coming in through that last connection. No real offset. I don't see any real cracks to be concerned about. As we pull back, we'll see that this pipe is clay. Clay is actually a really good material for sewer lines for one reason, and that is that it does not rust or corrode. It doesn't have any reaction to the chemicals which are going through it. It doesn't deteriorate or age as most other pipes do. What clay does do, though, is that it will be able to let roots come into the line. Also, clay doesn't flex, so if there's very sufficient force put onto the clay line through the roots or by an earthquake, instead of flexing, the clay line will just crack. We have a tiny piece of cast iron in the line right there. This is right after the clean out that's in the front yard on the right side front planter as you look at the house. And we go right into cast iron here. The cast iron is a significant amount of the pipe that's underneath the house. This looks like some debris in the line. Probably some cobwebs. This cast iron is still got a pretty good round shape to it, which typically indicates that the cast iron line will have quite some years left to the pipe useful lifetime. When a cast iron pipe starts to get old, you start to see major rusty formations in the line. Typically, cast iron will last about 80 years before needing an upgrade. This cast iron would appear to be somewhere around the 60-year mark, just as a guess. It would be a good idea to go ahead and find out when it was installed, probably original to the structure. So the build date of the structure is probably its install date as well. Some a little bit heavier flaking of the rust there in front of us. Some of the things you'll notice when cast iron is in failure is you'll notice significant roots coming into the line. Right now we're not seeing any roots. We are seeing some debris, some dental floss, things like that. These aren't roots. They're obviously flushed into the system. They're not entering through holes in the pipe. What does only enter through holes in a cast iron pipe is a root intrusion. We're not really seeing any of those. So this is not a piece of pipe which is in failure at this time. This also looks to be a bit of a debris in the line. Pull back. Get a little closer. It's just doesn't really look like a root. If that is possibly a root, it's a little bit difficult to tell just because of how much debris is in the line at this time. But we haven't been seeing a lot of things that look like that. Small roots coming into the line are indications that the line has begun its failure stages. It usually takes between 2 and 5 years for a cast iron line to go from having started to fail to actually needing to be replaced. And right now, what I've seen, there's been no clear indications of failure in the pipe. There can't be any guarantee made on cast iron pipe for how long it will last. Most of this was underneath the house. I suspect that if we go back into plastic pipe here, all the pipe which was above ground underneath the house was replaced with plastic, and as it went underground it probably is remaining cast iron. Just as a guess, that's what I would say is happening at this point. We see the cleanup to the swimming pool area, side fence. This is the right property line. So just to sum up on what we've seen so far, this line is connecting to the city sewer about Center Street in front of the house. It has a very good access point in the right front planter area, and that could be used for cleaning the clay line. The clay doesn't really have that many roots coming into it at this time, excuse me. What I would recommend is that the line be inspected every few years to take a look at this cast iron, find out when it starts to go into its failure point. When that failure point does begin, I would recommend that the cast iron be replaced underneath the house. At this time, it's not necessary. I couldn't give you an exact date at when that failure will occur, but if I were to give a guess on it, I would say anywhere between 5 and 15 years of usable life left on this cast iron before it needs replacement. Again, this is Nick with Williams Sewer Line Inspectors. Thank you very much, and have a great day.